Peace and love. It is good to be back. I wanted to get on here and share some of the recent things that I've created. If you all don't know, peace, my name is Jewel, and this is a Compassionate Oracle. On this channel, I do readings, but I also do all other types of things, crystals. Um, and now today, I want to talk about some of the art that I've created for my business. So I have a business outside of I teach, but I also do spiritual readings and I make jewelry. So I want to go over some of the things that I've been making the last couple of weeks. And I recently made some collage art and bookmarks. Over the next few months, I want to start preparing for getting back out there visibly. So some of the markets around my area, trying to get serious about setting up for some of these events. I've tried before and was successful really with it, but I found that doing the readings in markets or out and about was just a little bit exhausting for me. Even though I got good feedback from the readings, I probably won't do readings out and about anymore. But I mean, I still offer readings, of course. I like to take my time with my readings. I like to drink my tea and to ruminate and to walk around and to maybe go outside. And I'm not like a quick reader. I really take my time to tap in with spirit. That's why I don't post a lot of readings on this channel, because I truly am working with spirit and my ancestors, and we don't just churn out stuff that's not relevant or important to our healing. Not no shade on anybody else, but it's just how I work. And so I found that doing readings at festival, doing readings out and about, it just was so heavy. Um, but I do want to start having my offerings out. And so today I'm going to go over some things. So I love to get on Canva. I do my thumbnails with Canva. My poetry book that I wrote, I don't have a copy of it back here. I did my cover with Canva. It's pretty simple, but I use it in my classroom. I use it for a lot of things. But I recently went to just a market, and I saw people out there, brave enough to sell their art. So I'm like, I'm an artist as well. I haven't painted in a while, and of course my paintings wouldn't be the same in, some, but I still used to love to do it for at least for therapeutic purposes. But I still can create art, and so I said, let me decide on creating some things for my shop, and then maybe I can have out and about. So I wanted to go over some of my art pieces, and I wanted to create things that I want to see when I'm out and about, things that I never see for me, art pieces that I want. So first I created some bookmarks, and let's see. And so these were Canva. They only have one size for the bookmarks, 2x6. Next time I get these, I'm going to have them. I don't like the rounded corners, I'm figuring out. But I'm going to laminate them myself, and I'm going to also put grommets in them and ribbons. So I'll work on that soon once I actually get all of them. This is a few of them. I made a few more, and I'll talk about the ones that I did make. But Nina Simone. So I've made art based off the people that are really inspirational to me in my life. And that, I mean, Nina Simone, I listen to her on a daily. So these people are still alive spiritually for me. I still utilize their energy on a day-to-day basis. And so Nina, and then I have one of her quotes in the back, freedom is no fear. Freedom is no fear. And then the date. And then I picked flowers and herbs and symbolism that's important to the person or important to me when it comes to the person there. Let's see. Um, this is the Empress. I did a couple in a tarot card form, or tarot card series, a part of the series as well. And so this is the fertility doll from Ghana or West Africa, and have some of the fruits and flowers and um, just things, some of the symbolism that I think of when it comes to fertility, growth, abundance. And then so I just have a little bit on the back. I am abundant and fruitful. My creations are waiting to be birthed into existence. And then we have the Akuba, which is the Akuba, the fertility doll from Western Ghana. And then one of my favorites, just Maya Angelou. I still, to this day, just look up to her so much. So be a rainbow in somebody's cloud. And one simple on the back. And then Sojourner. one of her parts of her speech from Ain't I a Woman. I thought this one was it says, "Where did your Christ come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him." Sojourner Truth. And on the back we have some of her some of the other parts of her speech. And then I have the high priestess here is Harriet Tubman. I thought this is really beautiful here. And then on the back I have just a quote from her. Harriet Tubman tapped into spirit. She allowed God to speak to her and move her forward as she helped to move people out of entrapment or out of enslavement into freedom. So those are the bookmarks that I have. I have a few more that I'm working on. Toni Morrison, Audre Lorde, and Octavia Butler. Those ones are nice too because I still have the fronts with the floral. I love floral. I love fruits. These are things that I just enjoy. If you've been here for a while, you know some of my favorite oracle cards have the flowers on them, have the herbs on them, and so I always want to incorporate some of those elements into my art, into anything that I do. But on the back of those, I'm going to have an essential reading list. So, and then of course, this is the Divine Feminine series, but I'm going to eventually branch out into some of the masculine energy as well. James Baldwin, Fela, it's a lot of people that I want to explore when it comes to the bookmarks and the prints. All right, so those are the bookmarks that I worked on that I still need to get some things done with them. This is on their deluxe paper, 350 GSM. They had another option for the bookmarks. It was a plastic type of paper. I should have gotten a sample of that, but I mean, it starts to add up because I had 2 samples of the prints. But this is fine for me because I'm going to do plastic lamination over them. All right, so those are the bookmarks. And these were the prints that I worked on. Some of them are the same. So I got two samples. These are my favorite, but I'll show both of them. This is in the hemp paper, and I love it with I thought I would love the rounded corners more, but I love it with just the square corners. And this is the Empress in the larger size. This particular paper here, and this is if you're interested in doing anything on Canva, this paper has a matte feel. This one also, let's see, this one kind of has like a little bit of a gloss to it, not too glossy, but I love the matte feel for the prints. And these are the jumbo postcards in case you're interested in maybe doing some artwork on Canva. But these are the 5.5 by 7 by 5, I think, for them. If you put in jumbo postcards, it'll come up. But the paper here for this one has like a little bit of a texture to it, which I really love. So then on the back, it's still the same with the quote. I'm going to show you the others because I got the deluxe as well. I wanted to see how it... Now, the deluxe is actually really cheaper. I would say significantly cheaper than the hemp, the renewable paper here. But as you can see, it's not bad. Of course, the colors are a little bit more vibrant when it comes to the deluxe paper here. And they're nice and heavy. The weight of it is fine, but it just doesn't, the quality of it doesn't feel exactly the same. But I'm going to run through some of them here. So this is the Empress. So you can kind of see the difference. So because I ordered the samples, by the time I got them in the mail, they just came in the flat mailers, kind of the flat cardboard mailers. But so they kind of a little bit bent, but I know when I actually order them, they'll come in a box, so they'll be have more protection on them. And these are things just in case you're interested. But I've decided against these for the prints, and I'm going to work with this paper for the bookmarks. They didn't offer anything else in the jumbo postcard, but in the regular postcard they had another option, and I think it was the satin paper option, which gives a little bit of a sheen, but they didn't have that for the jumbo. But let me show you everything because this is the first set I ordered and it doesn't have all of them. So I'm going to go through these so you can see all the prints. And then I'm going to show them to you in the hemp, which is what I've decided to go with. And so we have the Empress here with the fertility doll, the fruits, the flowers, the baobab tree, the wheat. So I tried to take some of the symbolism from the actual Empress card. Not a lot, but so that we have a true understanding of it. She has the what's the thing called? The star crown. So I have the stars here as well. All right, so this is Maya. This is the Lovers card here, which is one of my favorites. See this one up close. And because I pulled a lot of older photographs, Harriet Tubman, it's hard to find a photograph of her that looks extremely clear. And so I feel like some of those come off better with the hemp paper. When you're not gonna, because this is an old historical photograph here underneath the sun and the moon. But this is a Lovers, and on the back here I have, I love you because the whole universe conspired to help me find you. And this is Paulo Coelho. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I have read a few of his books. I have a few of his books on my bookshelf now, and I enjoy his work. So I have that. This is the moon, and this is one of my favorites. This is Nina. So I did her as the moon card in the print form, and then just one of her quotes on the back. One of my favorites, inspirational. This is Ida B. Wells, and Ida B. Wells was extremely important. She was the first Black female investigative journalist, for one, which I think is fantastic. And so I have the pen here. But also she was extremely influential in getting the word out about the lynchings happening in the South. Okay, and so very brave woman, very powerful for her time. This is the Sun card. Then on the back, I just have a quote from one of my favorite songs from More Airs. Then I have the Hierophant here. It's Mahalia Jackson. I love this one. My son was telling me earlier that he felt like this was one of his favorites. But this one turned out beautifully here with the butterfly wings. Then on the back here, God can make you anything you want to be, but you have to put everything in his hands. Mahalia Jackson. I thought this would be beautiful for the Hierophant, just allowing the energy of the Most High to be the absolute guide in your life. Similar to the High Priestess, but just a little bit different. So we have the High Priestess here with Harriet Tubman. And the Lotus with the inspiration. We have the pomegranates. We have the columns here. We have the crescent moon on the back. And "'Twant me what 'twas the Lord. I always told him I trust to you. I don't know where to go or what to do, but I expect you to lead me." And he always did, Harriet Tubman. So two powerful spiritual energies in the tarot cards with the High Priestess and Hierophant. They both rely on higher powers, higher guidance. The Hierophant gets a bad rep because it also can be about structures and being boxed in, not being able to pull away from traditional aspects of religion. But I wasn't going from it in that vein when I was coming up with this imagery for the Hierophant card. And then we have the Emperor, Shirley Chisholm. She's one of my absolute favorites. First Black woman in Congress. First Black woman to run for president in the United States. To have a campaign for the presidency. And so on the back here, I ran because somebody had to do it first. In this country, everybody's supposed to be able to run for president. But that's never really been the truth. And I could have used a lot of things for Shirley Chisholm. But I just wanted to use this because I don't think we talk about her enough when we talk about some of those first. And it was pretty bold for her at that time to launch a campaign for the presidency. So I think we need to honor her. I have a poster in my classroom of her with her unbought and unbossed motto on it. And I thought she was perfect for the emperor energy. And so we have the Tower. This is Marsha P. Johnson here. I thought this one was really beautiful. To be quite honest, all of them look better with the hemp. But Marsha P. Johnson is perfect right now for June, when I'm recording this in Pride Month. She's very inspirational and very important when it comes to gay rights, but also Black gay rights and trans rights movement. She was extremely influential when it came to the Stonewall. And then when we talk about gay pride, Marsha P. Johnson is going to be one of the founders of the idea of celebrations, having the parades, all those things. So beautiful energy with that. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I have in the hemp. So they just look so much better. So this is the Empress. And I also love bring that one back out, the Empress back out. I also love the corners. I like them better square than rounded. I like it. I mean, I do like the rounded corners. They do have a finished look to them, but I don't know. So the Empress and the hemp here. We have the Hierophant with Mahalia. We have our two lovers. We have Emperor, the Emperor. Justice again with Ida B. Wells. We have let me see, I wanted to show that too because I think I have it in the different. Yeah, so I did it in black and in white with Maya Angelou here. I think I might like it more so with the white lettering. And then of course we have our High Priestess. And so I'm going to get these printed and I'll have them in plastic sleeves. And this will be something that I probably will offer on my shop, offer on my website eventually. But I want to get some things for vending. So when I'm out there with the markets. And like I said, this is art that I created what I wanted to see. You know, one of the Toni Morrison's biggest quotes is, if there's a book that you want to read, and it's, I mean, I'm not saying it directly. If you want to read something and it's not out there, you have to write it, you know. And so the same thing when it comes to art. When I go places, I don't see things that I would like to, that I would want, that I resonate with. Of course, I like cutesy things too. You guys know about me, but I love to honor some of these beautiful women who are still influential to me, and I still would like to honor that spiritual energy. We keep them alive by talking about them, understanding what they were trying to do, understanding their motivation, keeping them active in our lives, keeping them visible, and sometimes seeing a picture of Harriet Tubman, you know, not just on in February when we bring out our history books or we watch a program, but having this in your home where you're looking at that energy, you're honoring that energy. That's pretty powerful. All right, she's an ancestor. So these are ancestors that had strength and power in them, and so we want to be able to tap into that as well. And so this is my Divine Feminine series. So I'll keep you guys posted on that as I continue to work on those. And if I have more, I have some more bookmarks I'm working on, I'll show those to you as well. I also worked on some more bracelets. So I do readings. I also make jewelry. And so these are some of the bracelets that I've made. I'm just going to show them to you. I'm still working on them. I need to, obviously, I just finished some of them yesterday. I need to clip them, and I need to glue the ends. Show you what I use. This is my favorite beading cord, and this is a Bead Nova craft wires, and this is a 0.8 millimeter. For my beads, I tend to use the 10 millimeter beads just because they make me happy. I like to feel the weight of a bracelet, of a gemstone bracelet. Let me show you the difference here. All right, so these are the 8 millimeter beads. No shade, nothing wrong with 8 millimeter beads. I have lots of bracelets with those too. And this one does have some 8 millimeters, but I tend to love the 10. And I have some 11 and 12, but sometimes they start to get a little too large. But this is my favorite cording here, my Lessig cord. And then I had to throw it away too. Keep in mind, if you do elastic bracelets, because I was moving and I had my stuff all over the place, I didn't have my cord and anything. And so it turned yellow. And so this elastic beading cord needs to be protected. It needs to be airtight because it turned yellow. And then I realized I made a couple bracelets. I pulled on them. You pull on it first before you make your bracelet to try to go ahead and get some of that tension out so that so they don't wear out as easily. But also, as soon as I tied them and pulled on them, it popped. And so I realized I had to go back and restring some bracelets because I was using that cord. So make sure if you're doing elastic bracelets, that it's not out in the open, that you're keeping it protected. I also go back over it with some of the hypo cement here, just to make sure that they are nice and sealed. So I have to do that next. But this one here has the lepidolite and it has amethyst. And this is a reworking of some necklaces that I did. I took those necklaces apart and I went on here to make bracelets because I think when I do necklaces, I want to lean more towards the 8mm beads because I realized that the 10mm might be heavy to have on your neck all day long. So this one is the Dalmatian Jasper, the Mystic Labradorite, and then the Larvicite. Let's see, I thought I had another one of these. I guess I was only able to do two. So some of my favorites. I'll show you a close-up on these. Turned out beautifully. And then we have these ones here with black tourmaline, tree agate, and prehnite. And then also a mystic tiger eye in the front there. And then the back to close it out. I thought these turned out quite nicely as well. And then last but not least, let's see here. We have the rose quartz, pink tourmaline. Just sip of my tea. And what else do I have? Oh, and the lepidolite again, and the 10mm. These ones turned out quite nice. So I'll be finishing these up and adding them to my shop. I have bracelets up there now. But the whole goal for me is to see how much I can get done so that when it's time for me to get out and then I can have a nice amount of stuff on the table. I also wanted to show you all something else I've been working on, and I'll do a video on this too. This is like a little sneak peek. So sometimes when we have tarot cards, and I read a lot, and right now I'm to the point now where I'm really selective about things that I bring into my house because I don't want to be the type of person just accumulating so much stuff. And then cards, to me, they're our working tools. If you are a reader, they're working tools and they're spiritual tools, and they should be used. And so their potency comes from us honoring them, acknowledging them, and using them. You know, that's just me. That's the way I feel about it, right? You have readers who only use one set of cards. They stick to that card because those cards hold energy, right? I find that's a good thing, and it can be a bad thing too. I mean, I've had some cards where I've had to move them along because not all decks. I've only found that with some, with the fortune-telling decks. I can't hold on to them forever. At least I can't, because I feel like they start to hold on to negative stories. We've talked about that. Anytime I've done the fortune-telling readings on this channel, I've always told you all to be really careful with those cards if you all utilize them. This is Sibila. This is what I'm talking about, the Everyday Oracle. I love these cards, but I find that if I have them for years and years and years, for me, and it might be different for other readers, but I find that some of the stories hold, and it's hard for me to get them to, even with the cleansing, they hold on to negative stories, or maybe it's just the energy of the cards where they're concerned about the darker elements or the shadow elements. You know, they deal with the shadow elements of a situation. And sometimes, it's good to see those things, but sometimes it's like, okay, just, and especially for me, because I'm like, I don't have any that I know of drama in my life, but you're telling me some stuff. I'm like, is this a soap opera? Because I'm not seeing it on a daily basis. But these will pull the soap opera out your life. If you don't think you have it, it's here in this this everyday oracle. But cards like this, I find that, you know, what was I talking about? I was just talking about we want to utilize our cards because they hold on to energy. When they're just sitting there on the bookshelf, it's fine if you're a collector, but I'm not a collector, and so I don't want to be a collector. I want to utilize my spiritual tools. But I do come across decks that I love with all my heart, but the connection isn't there, or the messages are there, but they aren't what I need them to be. Does that make any sense? Because I read intuitively, so it's not like I go through the guidebook for all these decks, but sometimes I do decks and they're just too surface, or the readings are just too. They don't give me that feeling that I'm looking for. I know how I like to read. I know how I like to speak with my spirit team. I know how I like to speak with my cards. And some cards, they just don't. We don't speak the same language, and I haven't figured out that sometimes it's the person who's created the deck. I can't move past the energy of the person who's created it, and it's nothing that they've done. Also, if it's cash grabs, things like that, I can't. Sometimes I don't connect with those as well, so I have to be really selective. But let's talk about some things. This is a deck that I got a couple of years back for my birthday. Love this deck. Absolutely love it. But the readings that I would get from this deck just would not that they didn't tell me anything, they certainly would give me messages. And I was able to discern messages from them and divine messages from them. But it just wasn't at the level that I want to, that I like. So, two decks by the same creator. One I heavily resonated with, and one that I didn't. I still love this creator, Carla Morrow. She's a writer and she's also the artist. These decks are absolutely beautiful. This is one of my favorites, the Universal Dragon Oracle. And this one has dragon energy in it as well. I'm going to show you a couple of. I love this deck. This deck is also beautiful for working with divine masculine energy. Not that you need a specific deck for that, but beautiful deck. This one here, it just didn't hit me the same. But, we also have options to give decks away. We have options to sell them. But, what else can we do with them? And so sometimes when I have decks that I move along or that I get rid of, if they're worn, I'll hold on to a couple of them, just a couple of the cards that I really love. And so I said, okay, well, let's turn these into bookmarks. And so that's what I've been working on as well. I'll pull out some of them. And so I've taken some of the cards. This deck is fantastic. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful deck. These are some of the cards here. Dignity, inspiration. I mean, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Beautiful keywords. Prosperity, love, sincerity, luck. I mean, we can just go on and on and on. But I wasn't reaching for it. But I still think it has so much value. So I've decided to also turn these into bookmarks here. And so I went over them with a vinyl glitter coat. I don't know if you can see it, which takes more time than than it seems. It's like this one is happiness here, and then faith. And so this is the kind of the end product, almost the end product here with the grommets. I went over that with the grommets here, and then I'm gonna add some ribbon. I'm just need to get some of the ribbon in different colors for them, and I'll be finished with these. For these bookmarks here, I'm gonna do the grommets a little bit differently, smaller because these are smaller cards, and then I'll have the tassels for my my creations. But this is a beautiful way to upcycle something like this. Things that we absolutely love. I love this deck. I think it's beautiful. But I can share with other people. These can be beautiful gifts. I'm actually going to sell them. I mean, not for much, but on my table. So something like that where I'll just put them in a bag, a blind bag, where they can just pick one. And I'll leave the books up there. If they purchase one, they can go through and read the message. But these, luckily, the message is on them. It's nothing too, they're not too difficult to understand. But just wanted to talk about some of the other things I've been working on and just an idea. If you have cards that you really love the art, but you might not resonate with the way the messages are delivered. That's what I'll say. It's a strange phenomenon, but all right. Well, that's it for this video. I might put another video up showing how I do these, how I made these, and some of the other ones I made, because I pulled apart 4 different decks to make these, and one is my absolute favorite artist of all time. I had a video on here going through her artwork. Going through the deck. I'll link it. And also, I showed some of the art prints because I've actually purchased art from this artist. And this is the Earthcraft Oracle here. Juliet Diaz, Lorraine Anderson. But I actually purchased this for Danielle Boudou Fortune. I got it for her. But these are some of the gorgeous art pieces in this deck. Why not share with other people? But the deck didn't read it didn't read the same as the art. Now, intuitively, I don't have to worry about this. I can just look at the pictures and I can go from that. And I did. But I don't know. It's just the energy of this is a card I always get, the River Woman. I'll probably hold on to this for me. Just beautiful. Here, Soul Loss. What's another card I would always get? Here. I love this one. The Sight of the Owl. I highly recommend this deck, guys. This one is beautiful too. The Seer. And this is just a deck that I would just have for the artwork, really, because of course I can read it intuitively, but the guidebook, it's just something about it. I didn't resonate too much with it. And I usually don't read with the guidebooks, but still, the energy of the readings, for me, I have to feel a certain way. It has to be a serious connection with some of my cards, with oracle cards. Let's see. Trying to see if there's a deck. Well, anyways, let's look at some of them. So, also, I did the vinyl on top of these. And then this is it with the grommet at the top. Inner Healer. And this one is Ivy. So that's that. I just wanted to share that with you guys. So that's what I've been working on. I still recommend this deck though. The Earthcraft Oracle. It's beautiful art, beautiful women of color. It's rare to see. And so if you're looking for something with representation, with black representation, I recommend this Earthcraft Oracle. Your experience with it might be different than mine. And not saying I didn't get readings with it. I did get readings with it. But the connection with the art is different for me than the connections with the spiritual readings. I can't explain it more than that. And so it's not a deck that I would want to get rid of completely, because some of these cards I've kept. So I couldn't sell it. And I couldn't give it away because the deck would be missing cards. So I wanted to hold on to some of the cards that are beautiful to me, right? Then I will keep them in my collection. And then some of the rest of them, I can move them along as gifts or whatever it may be. All right, so until next time, peace.